Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
What is up? Welcome to the GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday. Today here is where we're going to recap the games from Wednesday and Thursday, talk a little bit about the NL West race, as well as how the Brewers have been able to stay so hot on top of the tough NL Central. I mean, this team, there's got some talented teams out there in the NL Central, as well as an update from the College World Series. Actually, we're going to do that. We'll start with that a little bit now. I do have to give my congratulations to the Oregon State Beavers for not only evading elimination. How many times? 5 times? I think that team played 5 elimination games in Omaha. They also played against a team in Arkansas that hadn't lost a game. They won 3 games to get to the championship series. Oregon State had to win 4 games because they lost 1. And then they beat Oregon State in game 1, or Arkansas does, on Tuesday. And then Arkansas is down. Oregon State down to their last strike. They're down to their last strike on Wednesday, and they don't no worries. Trevor Larnach was able to get I think it was a 2-run homer to take the lead in that game. They were down by 1, and then I think they scored 1 more to go over to make it a 2-run game and win 5-3. I think was the final. So yeah, down to their last strike. And then it gets to I think they got the guy on, and then Larnach was the next guy up and hit a home run to take the lead there. So if you're Arkansas, you got to get. I mean, I don't know. You go in there, you're rolling through a perfect Omaha, and then you run into a buzzsaw in Oregon State, and you think, oh, we won the first game against this really tough team with all these first round picks all over them. I mean, Arkansas has a couple of their own, but you win the first game. You think, okay, we're sitting pretty. They got to beat us twice. They just beat Mississippi State twice. They can't do it again. But no, they did it again. They win the walk-off on Wednesday, and then yesterday it only took one guy, and that was their pitcher. It's Abel was his last name there, as he gets the win he went 9 innings of 2-hit ball shutout for the Beavers, as they get the win. 5-0 was the final in that game, as it was just a domination, just absolute domination by the Beavers. Because I mean, you got to give them credit, because I mean, they were down. They played 5 elimination games. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, it's just playing baseball at the highest level, and at least at the collegiate level. But it's something it's not something you see every day. That's what I'm saying. It's not something you see every day, but Omaha is a place where magic happens, and it's a place where the best teams win. And there were a bunch of good teams there. It was Kevin Abel was the guy's name, as he went in that. This is a freshman, by the way. So he just graduated high school last year. He's like 19 years old, as they get the win. But I mean, that was just absolutely amazing, as they do have to have the summer now to celebrate. But all these guys, like Nick Madrigal, who's their second baseman, was the 4th pick overall in the draft. They had a couple of Larnach was a first round pick. I mean, they had Adley Rutschman. He is going to be a first round top 10, maybe even a top 5 pick next year. So he's got one more run in Omaha in him. So I mean, when you got a legendary coach like you do there in Corvallis, you can do a lot of cool things. That's their 3rd title now, as Arkansas they were looking for their 1st title, but now Oregon State with 3, as they did get those 2 in 06 and 07, as now they're going to be heading back to, they're back to Corvallis with that national championship, so good for them. Congratulations to the Oregon State Beavers, which was actually pretty cool. That was when I was growing up, that was a team I was really paid attention to. Loved watching Oregon State. Loved obviously their colors are very coinciding with the colors of my favorite team. So I do have a little bit of allegiance to them. Also been to that campus. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you are interested in engineering or teaching of any kind, go to Oregon State. They have great programs for both of those two things. It's really what they specialize in. And then also some of those buildings, the whole campus is amazing. Honestly, it's really great. And the baseball stadium is really, really cool as well, and also redid their football stadium as well. So hopefully that football team will get up to that's where they got the best baseball team in the nation. They might have the worst football team in like of the Power 5 conferences. I don't know. Actually, I might be. Maryland might have me beat or Indiana, but no, they won one game last year. So yeah, whoever they beat last year, there you go. That's the worst team. All right, so let's go over to the scores and go to the pros, the top league in professional baseball. That's the Major League Baseball. Obviously, there's a lot of levels. There's a lot of levels of professional baseball. Don't want to say this is the only league, but this is the number one league, as we know. It's been like that for quite a while. Tom, why are you talking like we don't know anything? As we'll start off with the games on Wednesday, Giants and Rockies. It was scoreless until the bottom of the ninth inning. The pitchers did very well. Start off with the pitching, as it was a Madison Bumgarner start for the Giants. He went 7 shutout innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts for him. Obviously got hit with a no decision because of the lack of scoring. Kyle Freeland also was very good for the Rockies, as he went 7 scoreless, 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts for the young left-hander there. But the deciding factor in this game was a Brandon Crawford solo homer in the bottom of the ninth. That was a walk-off fashion, as the Giants got a win there, taking the game 2 of that series in San Francisco against the Rockies. So the Giants will head out on the road starting today, as they'll be in Arizona. We'll cover that in just a little bit at the end of the show. But Brandon Crawford gets the walk-off. That was his 9th home run of the season, and he will be on his way to D.C. as well come next month. All right, going over to Atlanta, the Reds beat the Braves 6-5 as they scored 3 in the top of the 7th inning to take the lead there in Atlanta, as the Braves bullpen kind of bites them in the butt right there a little bit. As far as the starters, Sean Newcomb started for the Braves. He went 6 innings, 3 runs allowed, 6 hits. We got 7 hits, 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Just gave up a home run in that one, as the Braves bullpen, like I said, he left with the lead, but did not get the support from his bullpen. Luis Castillo pitched for the Reds, as he went 4 innings, allowed 4 earned runs, 5 total on 6 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. The bullpen was very good for the Reds, as they were able to hold the Braves scoreless and wait for their offense to come in and get the win, as the only home run was a Jose Peraza solo shot, his 3rd of the season. The Royals beat the Brewers in Milwaukee 5-4. Danny Duffy gets his 4th win of the year. They beat Brent Suter. Go watch this highlight of Brent Suter on Wednesday. It was a little chopper up the first baseline. He grabs it as a barrel roll and then goes and tags the guy out. It was a pretty cool play. As far as his line, he went 6 innings, 4 runs allowed, 6 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 1 homer allowed. For Danny Duffy in the win, he went 6 innings, 1 run allowed, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. That 1 run was a home run by Aguilar, his 18th of the season. Brett Miller hit his 6th of the season for the Brewers, and the Royals got a home run from Mike Moustakas, his 15th of the year. The Astros walk off on the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 9th inning, scoring twice to tie and take the lead, as the Astros magic just continues to happen. Those guys can't lose, as they got another home run from Alex Bregman to walk off, his 14th of the season for Bregman to win the game there in the bottom of the 9th inning, as it was the 2-run shot. Other home runs in this game, and Marwin Gonzalez hit a solo shot off of Tyler Clipper to get closer for the Blue Jays. They actually did not hit any homers in this one at all. All right, and then on to the Phillies and Yankee game. Phillies shut out the Yankees. Yankees have been shut out 3 times all year. It's happened twice in a week. and actually the first time I think was a couple weeks ago, so recently. It was a Zach Eflin start for the Phillies as he was excellent in this one. 7 shutout innings. That's tough to do against the Yankee lineup. 4 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts for him as he gets the win there. His 6th of the year. He's now 6-2 on the season. The Phillies got a home run from Rhys Hoskins, the 3-run shot, and that was all the offense in the whole entire game. And as far as the Yankees, I do want to give the Yankees pitcher their due. Their due is it was actually a bullpen affair. Sessa was the starter, gave up those 3 runs on that home run, and that was in the 3rd inning. Got taken out, and the bullpen was able to hold the Phillies, but the Yankees did not have anything going with the bats. Mariners beat the Orioles in extra innings. Took 11 innings to decide this one in Baltimore. It was 8-7 was the final for the Mariners. The victory, they scored that 1 run in the 11th to take the lead and win. As home runs in this one, Danny Valencia hit his 8th. Chris Davis hit just his 6th of the season for him as he's having a really, really dismal year there in Baltimore. Ryan Healy hit his 15th. Kyle Seager his 15th as well, as they backed up Wade LeBlanc, but he gets no decision in this one. The D-backs beat the Marlins 2-1 behind a Robbie Ray start. He comes off the DL and pitches excellent in Miami as he gets just his 2nd win of the season. But like I said, he was on the DL for a while. He beat out Buddy and Chen, who was a tough luck loser. Chen went 6 innings, allowed 1 run on 1 hit, or 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Chen. But the loss is because Robbie Ray was just a little bit better. 6 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts for Ray, as the bullpen was pretty good. Boxberger just gave up a home run in the 9th. That was the only run the Marlins would score. That was a home run to Starlin Castro. The D-backs got a home run from Daniel Descasso, his 9th of the season. In Boston, the Boston Red Sox beat the Angels 9-6 as they scored 6 runs in the 2nd inning. So they really set the tone. The Angels tried to claw the way back a little bit. They actually did tie the game in the top of the 7th before the Red Sox broke that tie in the bottom half of the inning, and then extended their lead out a little bit more. As far as pitching goes, Andrew Heaney only lasted 3 1/3 innings as he allowed 6 runs on 8 hits. Give up 3 homers in this game. We'll give you those in a second. Rick Porcello in the no decision went 5 2/3 innings because he allowed this game to get tied. This game was eventually tied up, so he doesn't get the decision. 5 2/3, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He also gave a couple home runs for the Red Sox. Eduardo Nunez hit his 5th. Sandy Leon hit his 3rd. JD Martinez hit his 25th of the season. I believe he still leads the league. For the Angels, Ian Kinsler, his 11th, and Martin Maldonado, his 4th of the year for the Angels in the loss. A's beat the Tigers 3-1 behind a nice pitching performance from Chris Bassett as he pitches excellent for the A's. 6 shutout innings, 2 runs, 2 hits, 5 walks, which is a blemish, probably why he only went 6, but he was up to 102 pitches. 5 strikeouts for Bassett as the A's get the win in this one, as they scored 1 in the 4th and then 2 more extra in the top of the 9th, which always makes your closer a little happy at the end there, as Trevino gets the save, just his 2nd of the season there for Oakland. The Pirates beat the Mets in Flushing at Citi Field 5-3 as the Mets continue to struggle. It was a Mets lead, actually. They were up 3-0 pretty much this whole game. The Pirates scored 1 in the 8th to make it 3-1, and then they scored 4 runs in the 9th inning to take the lead in this one, as there was a Gregor Polanco single that knocked in 1, a David Freese single that knocked in 2, and then a sacrifice fly by Josh Bell that was the 4th run of the inning. That was all off Anthony Swarzak and Jeurys Familia for the Mets, as their bullpens have just been, well, seemingly the last few years have had some serious issues. I know it was, but home runs in this game. Wilmer Flores hit his 6th of the season for the Mets. For the Pirates, they did not hit a home run, as Ivan Nova was the starter for the Pirates. He went 6 innings, 3 runs allowed, 5 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Just that home run to Flores was the big blemish, but he gets no decision as this game was decided later. For the Mets, they got a nice pitching performance from Zach Wheeler. He went 7 shutout innings. Could be helping that trade stock right there, as Wheeler could be a piece the Mets might think of moving if they're not going to move DeGrom or Syndergaard. So he went 7 shutout, 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. That's good. I mean, anything like that. I mean, again, the Pirates lineup isn't a slouch. Obviously, they came back and won. They scored 4 runs in an inning to win the game. So you got to give some credit to the young Zach Wheeler, as he might be finding a new home during this trading season, because I don't think the Mets are going to be trading DeGrom or Syndergaard. If anybody, maybe they'll think about a Wheeler who could be a good little 4th or 5th starter for a team that just needs a little help in the rotation coming through down the stretch of this season. So that's a good sign for the Mets, is they need Wheeler to do well for them so they can get some value. And then I'll wrap it up actually for this segment, as we'll come back and finish off the games from Wednesday and then do the games from Tuesday really quickly, or Thursday that is, on the other side of this break. So everybody stay tuned.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday, as we are covering the games from Wednesday and Thursday today. Right now, Rangers beat the Pirates 5-2 behind a nice pitching performance from Mike Minor, as he gets his 6th win of the season. The Rangers scored early in this one, as they were able to set the tone in that 3rd inning with a couple of runs in the 3rd and then a run in the 4th. Minor went 7 shutout innings, 1 hit allowed, 5 strikeouts, no walks. 5 strikeouts for Minor. So he could be another guy. This is another guy. Rangers are out of it. They could be thinking for a trade piece if they're gonna maybe move Minor and a Cole Hamels, but you don't want to decimate your rotation too much. But that's a good sign there. Could be a guy you can get in a deal. For the Rangers, Rua hit his 3rd of the season. That was a solo shot, and the Padres did not get a home run in this one, as they had Clayton Richard going today. He had went 7 innings as well, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for Richard, as he's the tough luck loser in this one. All right, for the White Sox, it was a win in Southside at the home. James Shields, there you go, James Shields, who once in a while he'll come around and actually pitch pretty well. I mean, we always ask the question, why is James Shields still playing baseball? Why does he play for the White Sox at least? Because that's the only team that he can get a job with, and he likes living in Chicago, Tom. But he actually pitched pretty well in this one. 7 shutout innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. It's so weird how sometimes you can have it or you don't. Pitching is so weird. Sometimes your curveball is flat, your slider's flat, your curveball's hanging, your fastball can't locate it. So the next start, your fastball command's excellent, your curveball's snapping, your slider's moving. So, and you're hot and you're unhittable. You go 7 shutout innings. So it's just, baseball is so weird sometimes. For the White Sox, they got a home run from Jose Abreu, his 12th. Avisail Garcia hit his 3rd of the season for the White Sox. The Twins went without a homer in this one, as they take the loss in Chicago. The Indians beat the Cardinals in St. Louis 5-1, as they got a nice pitching performance from Shane Bieber. He gets his 3rd win of the season, as it was Bieber's first time facing the Cardinals. He went 6 innings, one run allowed, 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts in this game, as he gets the win for the Indians. Home runs by Edwin Encarnacion and Lonnie Chisenhall making an appearance, his first home run of the season for the Indians. The Cardinals went home runless in this one, as they couldn't back up Jack Flaherty, who only lasted 4 innings. The Dodgers beat the Cubs on Wednesday 7-5, as they had their bats out. The Dodgers really relying on the long ball. This one was a bit of a home run derby in L.A., as there was home runs by Max Muncy, his 16th, Jock Peterson, his 11th, and Cody Bellinger, his 16th of the year for the Dodgers. Wilson Contreras hit his 6th of the season for the Cubs in this one, as Kyle Hendricks only lasted 2 2/3 innings after giving up 6 runs on 8 hits. Alex Wood went 7 innings, 2 runs allowed, 3 total, 2 earned on 7 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts, just that 1 homer to Contreras. And that was it for Wednesday. We'll go over to Thursday really quick here. The Giants actually a back and forth affair with them and the Rockies. Rockies took an early lead with a run in the first inning. Giants took it right back with 2 in the first. Rockies took it right back with 4 in the fourth. Giants fought back, made it 5-6 in the bottom of the fourth. Then the Rockies extended it back out to what was it? It was going to be 6. It was actually 5-5. So the Giants actually tied it up 5-5 in the fourth. Rockies extended it back out to 7-5. Giants made it 6-7-6. Then took the lead 8-6 in the bottom of the 8th inning, only to blow it in very Giants fashion in the top of the 9th inning with it giving up a 2-run homer to DJ LeMahieu. That was off of Dyson LeMahieu. That was his 8th homer of the year. Nolan Arenado also hit his 19th of the year. The Giants got a home run from Brandon Belt, his 13th of the season, 2-run shot, as none of the starters really did anything good in this one. None of the bullpen, honestly. It was a bunch of hitting, and it was timely hitting from DJ LeMahieu that got the win for the Rockies as they salvage a game in that series and avoid being swept by the Giants. All right, Diamondbacks beat the Marlins as well in this one as they got a shutout performance from Zach Greinke. 4-0 was the final. Greinke went 7 innings, no runs, 7 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts for him as he's becoming into midseason form. Home runs, no homers in this game at all as the Marlins were not able to score at all. They had 10 hits and couldn't get a run across. That's got to be frustrating as the Diamondbacks were able to score on a double and a couple of singles. A's beat the Tigers as the A's. The Oakland A's are 6 games over 500. They're 6 games over. And a quick standings update in the American League wild card. They're the next team. They're ahead of the Angels. They're 3 games up on the Angels. The Angels have lost 6 in a row. The A's have won 6 in a row. Unfortunately for the A's, the Mariners have also won 6 in a row, so they can't gain any ground there. The A's could be a wild card team. They do this every once in a while. They just get good. They have some good young players on that team as they could win 6-4 in Detroit as they take care. That's what they do. You got to take care of these lesser teams. The Tigers actually aren't slouches either. Kind of equal to the A's. Kind of that secondary team thinking about it when you think about it, contenders in a division. But they're playing decently. A's are above the Angels in the American League West standings by a good amount. So just an FYI. For the Tigers, they actually got a decent start from Michael Fulmer. He went 8 innings, 4 runs allowed, 9 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts for him. But he takes the loss as he's now 3-7. Nick Castellanos hit his 11th home run of the year for the Tigers. The A's did not get a home run, but they got a nice performance from Sean Manaea as he went 6 innings, 2 runs allowed, 5 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Just that home run to Castellanos was the big blemish. The A's did not hit a home run. Surprising. They actually they're a pretty good home run hitting team, actually, especially with Chris Davis. But no homers in this one. A couple of doubles, and that was about it for the A's. But they got the win in Detroit. Tigers beat the White Sox 2-1 in extra innings. It took 13 innings to get this one decided as the White Sox tied it up in the bottom of the 9th inning, but then were not able to hold on hold it like that before they could score. The Twins scored first in the top of the 13th, and then were able to shut down the White Sox in the bottom half to get the win there in Chicago. As far as this one goes, Lucas Giolito pitched for the White Sox way at the beginning of the game, and obviously got no decision, but he was pretty good. 6 1/3 innings, 1 run allowed, 4 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, just a home run was the blemish for him by Logan Morrison, hit his 9th of the season. Jake Odorizzi was also very good. 6 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts for him. As like I said, that game was decided late as the Twins had a lead in the bottom of the 9th inning. Fernando Rodney blew it on a bases loaded walk. And then actually another bases-loaded walk was the way the Twins scored in the top of the 13th. Wow, got to throw strikes. Throwing strikes is crucial in baseball. Mariners beat the Orioles 4-2 as they take care of the soft spot in their schedule. Manny Machado did hit his 20th of the season. Chris Davis got his 7th of the year. But the Mariners were able to score twice in the top of the 10th inning to take the lead, and they would win it like that. For the Orioles, they actually got a couple different guys. One guy threw 4 innings. This Yacobonis pitched 4 innings, 2 runs allowed, 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, a home run. Then Ramirez came in and pitched 5 innings of his own before that game went to extra innings. So the reliever getting his own 5. I love when the reliever pitches longer than the starter does. Even when the starter goes relatively not deep, but relative, not like a 2 inning or a 1 inning outing. For the Mariners, they got a nice pitching performance from Mike Leake. He gets no decision because the game went to extras, but he went 7 innings, 2 runs allowed, 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, a couple home runs given up. Those ones to Davis and Machado. The home run for the Mariners was by Nelson Cruz, his 21st of the season. Cubs beat the Dodgers 11-5 as they got 7 runs in the 7th inning against LA to get the win there. As I think that was they split the series. I think it was 2-2 in that series. As a couple of home runs in this one. Max Muncy hit his 17th of the season. Who's 17 home runs for Max Muncy? 17. This is a guy from the A's. Actually, they had him, and the Dodgers picked him up. Wow. 17 home runs for Max Muncy. Justin Turner hit his 4th of the season. Remember, he was on the DL for a while. As another Clayton Kershaw start. The Dodgers lose another Clayton Kershaw start. I know they didn't lose the last one he pitched in, but he goes 5 innings, 1 run allowed, 4 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. You could tell they're babying him a lot. 5 innings, only allowing 1 run. He had 68 pitches. Yeah, they're definitely working him back, letting him basically do his rehab starts in the major leagues, which is fine, but they're very, very, very cautious about it because he's already had 2 stints on the DL after coming back from the first one and then having to go back on the DL. They don't want that, so they got to work him back very, very slowly and easily. As he had that Walker Buehler came in, and that's the problem. Walker Buehler was supposed to be a guy who we thought maybe was going to go to the All-Star game as a starter, and was pitching excellent in a spot start scenarios or coming in and consider the rotation because of the injuries they've had, and now you bring him out of the bullpen. It's just so weird. Sometimes guys' mentalities of pitching can be really weird. Whether you're starting or coming out of the bullpen, it could be 2 different things. And you see Buehler, he lasted 1 inning, just 1 inning, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, and 1 walk, a homer. So, I mean, the homer must have been a big one. It was I think it was the one he gave up was a solo shot to Albert Almora Jr., his 4th. Allison Russell hit his 4th as well, just to let you know. But that's a kind of a weird thing. The guy was lights out starting, but then you bring him out of the bullpen one time and he gets lit up. And it's just weird sometimes, whether he inherited runners or whatever it was. But, yeah, he only got 3 outs. He actually did pitch into the 7th inning as well, but 5 of those 7 runs that scored in the 7th inning were likely his, or a couple of them. But yeah, that's a rough way to get back out there after getting taken another rotation if you're Walker Buehler. But go get him next time. That's what you got to say. Phillies beat the Nationals in Philadelphia 4-3. Washington tried to come back a little bit. They scored 2 in the 9th inning to make it 4-3, but that was all they were able to do. Aaron Nola gets the win, his 10th win of the season for the Phillies, as he's now 10-2 with a nice little 2.48 ERA. So he went 7 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed, 5 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. A very nice performance from Nola against a good lineup. Looking at Bryce Harper again, still he's there. It's creeping. It's off of it's out of the teens. He's at 220. Still hitting that leadoff spot, but he went 1 for 4 yesterday with 3 strikeouts. So rough. No home runs for the Nationals. For the Phillies, they got a home run again from Rhys Hoskins, his 13th of the season. Astros beat the Rays 1-0 as Lance McCullers Jr. got his 9th win of the season. He's really turned that around. He's pitching very nicely. 7 shutout innings for McCullers, 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts for him. As the only home run in the game was a Jake Marisnick solo shot, the only run in the game for that matter, his 7th of the year. As the Astros, a day after walking off, they get a win. But so they did this. They did the same thing. Stanek, the opener, the opener thing. So Stanek pitched an inning and 2/3, got 3 strikeouts, and then Yarbrough comes in and pitches the 6 1/3 innings, 1 run allowed, 7 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Just that home run was the only blemish. So actually, the Rays are playing pretty good ball, and the fact that they've lost on a walk-off, which means they were in it the whole game against the Astros, a very good team, obviously. And then they lose 1-0, which is, a tough way to lose. Obviously, they've had the similar kind of games against the Nationals earlier this week, so they know how it feels the other way around. But they've actually been competing pretty well. You got to hand it to Kevin Cash and the Rays, as they're obviously kind of out of it in their division, but still playing good baseball. The Red Sox beat the Angels again, 4-2, as the Angels are now 500. By the way. They're at 500. They're 41-41. Just FYI, public service announcement, everybody. The Angels are 500, 41-41. Everybody, what did I say was going to happen? What did I say was going to happen? They're 41-41. Honestly, scrap the next segment. I'm bashing the Angels the whole next segment. Mike Trout, pull a Kawhi. Pull a Kawhi Leonard, ask for a trade. Tell him you want to go somewhere else. I don't care. I'd rather you just hang out in LA and not play for the Yankees, but anywhere else. Or the Dodgers. But, that'd be crazy. But, that's a waste of time. They lose 4-2. I do actually have a couple more games. I do need to take a break really quick here, so we'll come back in just a second. I'll do the last two games of the day on Thursday. Then we'll do some talk on the Brewers, which actually are one of those games, so it's a pretty good segue. We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday today as we get started for our weekend. Everybody have a good weekend. Not yet, though. Finish listening to the show before no partying until you're done with listening to the show today, guys. As we still have some more baseball stuff to get to here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast as we start with this Angels and a Red Sox game that happened yesterday in Boston. The final, we're just going to have a couple more games here as the Angels again they couldn't get past the Red Sox. They're so close yet so far for competing with the top tier teams in the league. It's just they can't pitch enough. Their bullpen is just not good enough. Not good enough. Sorry, just not. It seems that they blow. Whether they had a lead early, then they blew it and they couldn't come back. So it's whatever. It's what happens. As far as home runs go, Aronson Simmons hit his fifth of the season, and Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers hit his 13th of the season. Jackie Bradley Jr. his 6th of the year, as they had that Brian Johnson guy start instead of the normal starter today, which would have been the knuckleballer Steve. Wow, I can't think of his name either. That's bad, baseball guy. He's Stephen Wright. There you go. Stephen Wright was injured, so he didn't pitch today. But so it was Brian Johnson. So he pitched, and it was a 4 innings, 1 run allowed, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That was it. Bullpen was good. Joe Kelly gave up a run, but that was about it. After the game was already 3-run lead. For the Angels, they had Jaime Badia start. He went 5 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a homer allowed. Seems pretty good. They allowed 4 runs. Your lineup, you got Trout, Kinsler, Upton, Pujols, Chris Young, Martin Maldonado, Luis Valbuena. They got some power. They got some bats in that lineup. You can't score 5 runs against the Red Sox? Sorry. Can't win. Brewers beat the Reds 6-4 in Cincinnati as Junior Guerra gets his 4th win of the season, as the Brewers scored 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning to take the lead there, and they scored 1 to add on. As far as home runs go, the Reds got a home run from Jose Peraza, his 4th, and Winker hit his 6th of the season. Jesse Winker. And then it was a home run for Aguilar, his 19th of the season. Every time I look at home runs, he hits one. And then Eric Thames hit his 10th of the season for the Brewers. That's one of their big guys this season. Jesus Aguilar, 19 home runs this year. He's hitting .313 with 54 RBIs. As we're going to go right into it here, let's talk about a segue. You see the Brewers up there. Brewers are still in first place. You wonder why they are. It's because they're hitting. It's because when they don't pitch, they hit. When they don't hit, they pitch. And their bullpen's very good. It's mostly bullpen. I mean, look at the Reds. The Reds scored 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and they didn't score again after that because they have a very good bullpen. They have Jeffers back there. He's very good. Obviously, you know about Heater and all his strikeouts and everything down there. So they made moves this offseason. They were aggressive. They have a young manager who's innovative in Craig Counsell. You got to give him credit. So, we haven't even heard about Ryan Braun. He's hitting .244. He went over 4 yesterday. So, we haven't really heard about him much at all. So, it's been they've been it's really been the flying under the radar show because we play in Minnesota. But obviously we know because we've heard about him. Not Minnesota. Wow. We play in Wisconsin and Milwaukee. There we go. Sorry, guys, up there. They make the move for Lorenzo Cain. They make the move for Christian Yelich. Big moves, obviously. But okay, what about the rotation, which I think is still going to bite them in the bud? What they have, obviously, Guerra's been pitching well. They have the who's that other? They have the young stud. They're supposed to be. They bring up every few weeks when they need a start. But they obviously have Brent Suter as well. So you got a kind of interestingly interested with the Reds rotation. I'm not that enamored with it as much, but it's been good. Not the Reds, the Brewers rotation. I just can't say the right team name here. But they're 47-33. You can't knock it. They're 14 games over 500. They have the most wins. They're tied for the most wins in the National League. So not quite up there with the top of the American League quite yet, but they're getting there. And you got to hand it to the Mariners too. Dang, the Mariners still look at the AL West. I know I didn't put AL West up there because we talked about them a lot on the show here, but the AL West, the Brewers are not the sexiest team in the league right now. Sorry, Brewers. I do like talking about you, but you're probably sitting in a position right now where you're going to get shot down. I think they're going to get shot down. If we're talking about long term, the Cubs have a better rotation. They don't have a better bullpen, I don't think. But the Cardinals are right there as well. I said don't sleep on the Cardinals. They're only 4.5 back. As far as the AL West, I did want to mention this really quick. I said NL West on top there. Might have to switch that to AL West because the NL West is more. Well, the NL West. Sorry, this is gonna be confusing. The NL West is more interesting because of the fact that it's so wide open. The AL West seemingly does belong to the Astros, but the Astros have won 3 in a row. The Mariners have won 4 in a row, and the Oakland Athletics have also won 4 in a row. So and then the Angels have lost 6 in a row. The Angels are 5 games better than the Rangers right now. Sorry, they just with that lineup and that payroll and those stars, they don't have an ace. They don't have an ace. They don't have a stopper. Garrett Richards, you're not an ace. Tyler Skaggs, you're not an ace. You're not. Then I can't. Shohei, you're hurt. Where is Shohei? I'm gonna put you on a milk carton, Shohei. We don't know where you are. You're missing. You're missing in action. You're costing this team. It's not Shohei's fault. It might be stagnance in the fact that they haven't had any turnover in management in seemingly decades. Maybe Mike Scioscia needs to go. I think he is done. I think if they don't really turn it around and make a push in the wild card by the end of the year, they have time, honestly, to do it, to get hot again and to turn around. But they were really good. They were a very good team. They were up in the top of the MLB power rankings. They were 10 games over 500, and they've just plummeted, absolutely plummeted. They're not under 500 yet, but they are a loss away from it. They play. We'll go over who they play in just a moment here in the next segment, but they're just. It's terrible. I don't understand. You had the best player in the world. He's having his best season ever, and you're 10 games back. The Oakland A's are closer to first place than you. There are 3 teams in your way. Sorry. The American League wild card, not going to happen. If you're the Angels, that wouldn't even be a waste of a game. I'm sorry. You really think that if you're the man who's the general manager, whoever the general manager is for the Angels. Told you I was going to go on a rant. The general manager for the Angels. Okay. So here we go. We're in the division. We're in a division with the Astros, who have like 3 aces, and they're probably going to win the division. I mean, obviously, as a general manager, you probably hope that you can win the division, but let's think realistically here. So if you're the Angels general manager, okay, we can try and win the division. It'll be tough. The Astros obviously are very good. They're the favorites to win the division. Okay, let's think wild card now. Okay, wild card. Yankees and Red Sox are both ridiculously good. So one of them is going to win one of them is going to win the East. One of them is going to win probably the first wild card, which means they'll host the wild card game. Okay, now we're looking at a second wild card, probably here, if we can't get past the Astros. So you think that Garrett Richards, now you're prepared for the wild card game. Wait, you don't think they do this ahead of time? I mean, obviously the Giants got lucky. They had Madison Bumgarner already. They didn't really have to plan for it. They just knew he was going to be the guy. It's always nice knowing when you have a guy. I mean, we talked about the Yankees and the fact that they have question marks regarding if they don't win the division and they have to go into a wild card game. They have a guy, Luis Severino, but who's their guy for Game 1 of the next series? Giants had the same problem with them when they had their run in 2014. Obviously, they got it figured out, but the Yankees will have the same question. The Angels, who do you even pitch in that game? Do you pitch Garrett Richards? Really? What if he can't throw a strike? It happens every other start. Yeah, he can be absolutely nasty. The guy's got a great slider. He's got a very, very, very good slider. It's dirty. It's a dirty slider. But if he can't locate his fastball, nobody's going to swing at the slider. Why do you think a slider is so effective? Because it looks like a fastball out of somebody's hand, and then it moves about a foot to the right or left if you're a right-hander. So there you go. If you can't locate your fastball at all, nobody's going to swing at the slider. Anyways, they're going to take it. And then all of a sudden you'll be really trying to aim it and locate it, and all of a sudden you hang it and you give up a 3-run homer after you walk 2 guys. That's called snowball effect right there in baseball. You can't locate at all, save your life, so you walk 2 guys in a row, and now you're really trying to really aim the ball and locate instead of just throwing it and trusting your mechanics, and then you throw a meatball right in the middle, and it gets blasted. Because these major league hitters don't miss. They don't miss very much. They don't miss the meatballs. Go watch a lot of the home runs around the league every week. It happens every week. Go watch home runs. About 90% of them are on hanging slider and pitches right down the middle, like right down Broadway. Whether they're just trying to get it right over the plate to get me in strike. I mean, it used to be the guys would go down and get golf pitches or hit tomahawk shots or hit a good pitch the other way. Now it's just right down the middle. Too many walks, too many homers in the league, too many strikeouts. We're not getting many base runners in the league right now. It's a problem. And it's a problem that the Angels have, too, with their entire team and lineup and everything. So the Angels, your formula to try and navigate the playoffs weren't that good. You weren't going to win. There's no way. You're the rotation. If you are the general manager of the Angels, you got to be like, okay, be realist here for a second. I'm sorry, NL West. I'm going to have to just change the AL West, the title of this Angels rant. But you can't tell me that before the season started that you looked at your rotation, the Angels rotation. I can't even name their 4th guy. Shohei is not a savior. He barely pitched once a week. They had a 6-man rotation. He pitched once a week. Once. You know how many times Justin Verlander pitches twice a week. Sometimes when it hits right, he pitches almost 2.5 times a week, pretty much, because it comes back around that often. He'll pitch a Sunday, a Thursday, and then the next Monday, 3 times in one little rotation. So I'm sorry, it just doesn't make any sense that you think that Tyler Skaggs, Andrew Heaney, Garrett Richards is great. I know he's fine, but he's not always great. Shohei. And then who else? Who was there? The two guys that they had that are not even starting anymore. I don't even remember. But they had Badia. I've seen how many Badia, but then they had Nick Ramirez. I think was another guy they were throwing out there. I can't even name it. I can name you the Astros rotation, and so can everybody else in the league because it's that good. It's that good. I can name probably a couple other rotations too, but the 1 through 5, it's that good. And you really looked at that in the beginning of the year and said, I like our chances to win the West with that, because it comes down to it. You can say that the hitting is a wash. It's a wash. Mike Trout, Pujols, Kinsler, and Cole Calhoun or Chris Young or Justin Upton. Honestly, saying the names right now and then knowing that the names I'm going to say next: Altuve, Correa, Springer, Bregman, Marisnick, Reddick, Yuli Gurriel, Marwin Gonzalez. Championship team, not championship team. Mike Trout, waste of time, not Mike Trout, waste of time. Because there's no Mike Trout on the Astros, obviously. But seriously, this is all. The whole point of this rant is to say that Mike Trout, get your butt off the Angels. Get on a team that can get you somewhere, because they can't get you anywhere. Washed up. I'm sorry, Pujols. Yes, congratulations, 3,000 hits. I loved watching you when I was a little kid. You were a great player. Yeah, of course, that's what they'd like to throw the stats out now. We don't care about future or what's going to happen in the future. We just look at the comparisons. We want to look at the comparisons, see how good Mike Trout really is. So let's look at the first 11 years of his career versus the first, I think it was the first 1,000 and 1,100 games, something like that. First 1,000 games of Mike Trout's career versus the first 1,000 games of Albert Pujols' career. First of all, Pujols' numbers are better. They're better, and they're not crazily that much better, but they are better. They're noticeably better. They're better, which is crazy. And then again, oh wait, Pujols, hey, he won a World Series in 2006 with the Cardinals. Amazing. Oh wait, how did the Cardinals win that World Series? They had good pitching. What? They actually could pitch? Amazing. It's just amazing. All right, I'm done. I'm off the soapbox. We're finishing the show with the next segment when we come back after the break, and we will cover the games for the weekend, and we'll go over the starters and give you some of the key pitching matchups for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
All right, last segment of the day today here, and for those of you who are wondering why I'm pointing out at the title of this show today and saying it doesn't say NL West up there, because it used to say NL West up there about a segment ago, and then right in between these two segments I renamed the episode so it says NO. It doesn't say NL West, it says Mike Trout, just Mike Trout, because that was my Mike Trout rant right there. So yeah, Mike Trout, poor guy. I hope he has I know he has a pretty girlfriend. That's fine. I know I don't really care anyways, but a nice house, that I actually do kind of care about. Hopefully he has some comfortable living arrangements, because you're 41-41. You're 10.5 games back of the Astros, who tanked for 2.5 years while you were good, playing the top baseball of your life when you first came up with this. So you are still now, because you're great. Obviously, Mike Trout. I'm talking straight to Mike Trout right now, by the way, guys. This is just for me and Mike. But yeah, Mike, sorry. I have to apologize to you from the Angels for disappointing you so much, and allowing a team in your own division to win the World Series before you guys. and for them not spending their money wisely and giving C.J. Wilson a crazy ass deal, and for giving Pujols too much money because he's getting old, and knowing that he has a plantar fasciitis problem, and signing Chris Young and signing Justin Upton. Actually, I like Justin Upton. He's gotten better, but and thinking that Garrett Richards could be your ace. Yeah, he looks great. He's a good looking pitcher, good looking big guy. Got a great slider, but just that nope. And then you don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. They have their guys. The Giants, they went out and got Cueto. They went out and got Samardzija. Hasn't really worked out yet. Just giving you an example from what you can do. But the Astros made it work for Verlander. The Astros went and found Charlie Morton, turned him into a great starter. Make a move. Do something this offseason. Sign somebody. Pitching. Even though I know, Tom, but they lost the last time 4-3 or 4-2. They should be able to win that game. Yeah, they probably should. Because then, I don't know, whether they're hitters or just on strike or it's a team. Baseball is a grind, people. It's an absolute grind. It's just the season is so long, number one. You're always together. You're on an airplane, back and forth throughout so you think that the pitchers, when the hitters finally hit and they lose 7-5 or they lose 9-8 or something like that the hitters don't get upset or they don't feel it at all? Then it goes back and forth. The pitcher, Jaime Badia, pitches nice 5 1/3 innings of a 1-run ball, whatever it was, 2-run ball, and the hitters can't bounce back? It's not inspiring baseball. I know I always turn. I'm a Giants fan. I'm not trying to be a Giants fan. No, I'm just telling you here a disclaimer, but I'm just an example. It's happened to the Giants yesterday. They even lost. I don't like talking about Giants losses that much, but they lost yesterday. However, they were down in that game twice before they took the lead twice, and then obviously blew it. They couldn't come back in the bottom of the 9th inning, but when you only got 1 inning, it's tough. I understand. But the fact that they had fight, that team has shown fight. The team has had injury issues. The team has had all this stuff that happened to them with their ace of their staff going down and other, multiple injury issues happening. A guy had an appendix tear. Guy got slid into and busted his finger on Jaisel Puig's leg because he got slid into wrong. Had a weird concussion because he slid into a sidewall on the side of the field. These are crazy, fluky, weird injuries. And they're still there. They're 2 games over 500. They're 4.5 back in the West. They wouldn't be 4.5 back in the American League West. You have to admit that because it's a little different comparison. But they've shown fight. They have fight. They are meshed together as a team. They have fight. They come back in games. The Angels just don't. They're all independent. They're all individuals. They all are just... There's Mike way up there on top of Mount Olympus. He's a god. He's a baseball god. And we're just down here in the depths. We're in Thebes, just mired in our own filth. Basically, what an analogy, Tom. That's called a Hercules analogy right there. Or a Greek mythology analogy right there. But it's very accurate because they have the best player in the league. They do. He's the best player in the league. The best player in the league. And then, hey, let's look at 2 other sports. Hockey didn't really work out this year because Connor McDavid is the best player in the league, but the Oilers weren't that good this year for some reason. They were good last year. They made the playoffs last year. But look at the 2 best players in the NBA, and then look at the 2 best players in the NFL. Tom Brady in the Super Bowl has rings up the wazoo. Antonio Brown. Now we can get kind of to the comparison with the Angels. The Steelers, at least they make the playoffs. They've made the playoffs. They've won playoff games. They just have a tendency to lose before the Super Bowl. And obviously Tom Brady has something to do with that. But then also LeBron James and Kevin Durant. 2 straight finals. Kevin Durant, 2 straight NBA Finals MVP. LeBron... he has one too. He got a ring. He beat that team once. It was a fluky thing. I know. I'm not going to talk about the 2016 finals. But just look at these sports. All of our other major sports. I know I even said hockey. Connor McDavid is arguably the best player in the NHL. This last season, the best player in the NHL was Taylor Hall, and he single-handedly dragged his team to the playoffs. And that's how you can do that with hockey. Baseball, there's a multifaceted game. You got to catch the ball, you got to hit the ball, and you got to throw the ball, and you got to pitch. Actually, throwing and catching go together. Pitching and hitting, those are the three things. So, I haven't even gone over the pitching starters yet because I just do that. This is as frustrating as a baseball purist. I'm not purist, actually. I don't consider myself a purist. I'm very much in favor of evolving the game. There are some drastic things that they're thinking about doing these days that are a bit crazy, like the shifts. That's a whole other show. Maybe for next week we can talk about what I think about the shifts. I'll tell you now. They don't. Just let them do it. Hit away from the shifts. They should be able to do whatever they want. There should be no restrictions about defensive positioning. There isn't in football. You can play your players however you want, especially for defense. So the same thing in the NBA. You can have a guy cherry pick if you want on the other side of the field and on the other side of the court and play 5-on-4 if you really wanted to. The Kings actually were thinking about doing that. No joke. Or their owner said something. What was I going to say? And then, the shifts are different. The pace of play, I actually am in favor of a pitch clock, so we'll get into some of that stuff next week maybe as we ramp. But now with 5 minutes left on the show, I do want to go over the games for this weekend and give you highlight some of the top pitching performances. We'll just kind of do a handful here and just pick what to watch for thing here for you guys on a Friday, as obviously we'll have some time this weekend to watch some baseball. We have nothing else really good. There's something else going on. You can watch Tiger play at the Travelers Open or wherever he's playing at. But there's no football. Basketball's done. Hockey's done. No drafts or anything to talk about. The World Cup actually, that's true. If you're really a United States purist, then you probably won't watch the World Cup anyways. But if you're a soccer fan, watch the World Cup this weekend because there's going to be some good soccer going on, or football this weekend from Russia as the group stage is over. As we know now, the knockout stage, round of 16, starts tomorrow, and it's going to be very exciting as obviously Germany's done. Argentina made it by with the skin of their teeth. Brazil won their group. Belgium looks formidable. They're my favorite to win the whole thing. Belgium is, especially if Lukaku, if you guys know who I'm talking about, their top striker is healthy. And Tom, this is a baseball show. Stop doing this. But okay, I'm just telling you that if you're not watching soccer, you better watch some baseball or get 2 TVs in your house. Okay. So as far as the games getting started today, cool little series continuing. Actually, I think they're doing a 4-gamer over there in Philadephia. It'll be a couple young guys getting started, getting the starts in Philly, Nationals and Phillies. It'll be Eric Fedde against Nick Pivetta, as Fedde is still looking for his first win in the league, and as he is looking for, even though he's given up 3 runs or less, he's pitched pretty well every time he's gone out there. And then Nick Pivetta is 4-6 with a 4.06 ERA, 101 strikeouts for the Phillies, as he's been pitching pretty good. I'm going to go looking around here as we have a bunch of games actually got started. A bunch of series actually got started yesterday as well. But I'll go over the Angels are going to be playing. We'll talk about the Angels. Angels are actually going to be in Baltimore. They're going to be in Baltimore. Here's the test for the Angels. At least take 2 out of 3. At least take 2 out of 3 from this sorry Orioles, who have literally 23 wins. They're 23-57, and hopefully you can get a couple wins. As Felix Pena, injury-prone starters. That's why Felix Pena is making his 3rd start of the year for the Angels today, as he's still looking for a first decision. He's got a 5.40 ERA with 14 strikeouts on the year. He'll face David Hess for the Orioles, who's 2-4 with a 5.44 ERA with 24 strikeouts for him. Braves and Cardinals are going to be playing in St. Louis today, as it'll be this is actually a pretty good pitching matchup, as we have Julio Teheran against Miles Mikolas. Teheran did have a rough start his last time out against the Orioles of all teams, as he gave 7 runs, including a grand slam. But he's 5-5 with a 4.52 ERA. Got ballooned up a little bit last time out with 73 strikeouts. Miles Mikolas is 8-2 with a 2.69 ERA, 71 strikeouts on the year for him, as he's pitched well pretty much all year. And then the marquee matchup, as we'll go over all their games for the weekend. The marquee matchups for Friday and the whole weekend is the Yankees and Red Sox from New York. For the first game, it'll be Eduardo Rodriguez for the Red Sox against CC Sabathia for the Yankees, as that game will get started out in New York this afternoon for us West Coasters out here, as it'll be a 4:00 Pacific time start. And then tomorrow on Saturday for that series, it will be some good pitching performances all series. We have David Price and Severino on Sunday, but Saturday it'll be Chris Sale against Sonny Gray. Sale 7-4 with a 2.56 ERA. Gray 5-5 with a 4.93 ERA. David Price and Severino on Sunday. Likely the Sunday night baseball game on Sunday. A shocker. Is 9-5 with a 3.66 ERA. Severino 12-2 with a 2.10 ERA. He is trying to battle out with seemingly Justin Verlander to be the starter for the American League in DC next month. So good looking on that one, as there'll be a cool series to definitely pay attention. It'll be fun recapping that one on Monday when we come back. So everybody have a good weekend. A couple other games to get going. DeGrom does pitch today for the Mets. Garrett Cole does pitch today for the Astros, if you're looking for some aces to go in out there. Trevor Bauer for the Indians against the A's today as well. So a bunch of different guys. Jose Barrios as well for the Twins in the Interleague Series with the Cubs. That'll be a cool one to talk about next week as well. So we'll sign off now. And we're back on Monday. Like I said, everybody have a good weekend, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.